So when you get to Jupiter, Jupiter is your understanding or misunderstanding, your guidance system. If you have a conjunction, square, or opposition of the IC to Jupiter, you're going to have stress and struggles over understanding and misunderstanding what's right, what's wrong, what you should do, what you shouldn't do, what you can get away with, what you can't, what are opportunities, what aren't, what exaggerates, what doesn't exaggerate. So you could get a motivation and then be motivated and then think, I got to do 10 times more than I really should do. It's enough just to get through the day nicely. No, I got to get through the day and I got to do this. You can take on too much. Of course, that might cost too much. That might cause other kind of problems. It's all an integrated system. So when you're trying to interpret someone's chart, you're just tuning. Excuse me. Okay. Well, I shouldn't drink and talk at the same time. Okay, sorry. It must have been the Mars or the Jupiter a little too much of something. Okay, but so the Jupiter coming in is affecting your understanding and perception of things in your guidance system and how it's affecting you. Okay, the Saturn is going to make father, serious, authority, discipline, timing, restraint affect your IC. So it's going to inhibit your IC. It's going to be challenges about authority, about working hard, about being depressed, about making an effort, of being prepared. So are you motivated to be prepared? Are you trying to be prepared too much? Or are you not prepared enough and having to fix the things that weren't because you weren't prepared? There's going to be pressure from discipline and from the father side, from the discipline side, from your restraint side. So self-discipline becomes a challenge because it might seem too severe or too difficult. Or on the other side, you might be too efficient. But there'll be pressure from the Saturn, the outer circumstances of what you can achieve or can't achieve onto your IC. Now, when you take each of the planets physically, Saturn's your skin and your bones, Mars is your muscles. So with Saturn, you could have skin problems. If you get in trouble, difficulty, stress comes up, you start being affected by skin problems or bone problems. A lot of people have that. So those are the main ones coming in. When you get to the other ones, you're seeing more extreme disruptions. So Uranus, conjunct, square, or opposed the IC, is going to mean an unstable motivation, unstable sense of security, unstable integrity, changing integrities, changing motivations. There's often shocks or disruptions that are coming in that are going to affect it. So if you're going to be unstable, why bother? What are you going to project if you're unstable? You're going to try and project the opposite. So the other planets really are more critical, touching an angle. Not touching the IC. It's home is unstable. Your sense of security when you were born. This is happening. Looking at your chart is when you first came in, took your first breath. This instability, if it was Uranus, this instability would be there from the day you were born. It would be there between your parents or in the world you were in. Your parents could be moving or things weren't stable when you came into the world. That's your normal. Now it becomes more, you may want to because that way you may say, well, why bother? I'll just rent. I'm not going to own a place, but I'll just go be relatively unstable. And many people live good lives like that. But someone else may be worried about it and be trying all the time to get more stable and keep thinking, why is it failing? Why am I not getting stable? Or even when they get successful, why am I not stable? Why don't I feel secure? So this primal motivating force is important to look at in the chart. It's how the soul is anchored into life and how the houses, the pivotal point of the houses. So again, when you're working with the IC, you're trying to make it for the sign. Each of the categories of the sign it's in. That's what motivates you. That's how you're supposed to be centered in living. I, me, we, us. It's there, but it's got to work. We work to get it from gross things to evolve it across our lifetime. Uranus implies sudden breaks and changes. So it's going to be harder to be consistent with the Uranus there. Of course, it will affect what house the Uranus is in or whatever, and how high up in the chart is, how low it is. These things are all factors. Uranus is being how it's being. But in its being, it's not making you more secure. So someone could be with you, could have everything set up, and the other person's wondering, how come I'm here? How come you're not feeling secure? And you can't explain it, you just know it, you feel it. So if Neptune's there, you have the great dreams and schemes. You have something's not as it seems. So there was confusion, distortion, guilt, gullibility, overfaith, belief. There was some fantasy or deceptive or romantic idealism around you or gullible pathos around you when you were born. So the Neptune can come in and it confuses where you're coming from. Who's my real parents? Where did I live? Well, am I guilty? It could be guilt. Am I guilty for causing inconvenience to my parents? Or my mom almost died, so I'm guilty for this. So I have to be, I owe her for being here. Or just this guilt factor can come in. So can a messianic factor. But see, if Neptune's conjuncting or squaring or opposing your IC, it's still going to be hitting the MC2. So it's about where you're coming from and how well you can put it out, or how well you're working on the foundation for what you build. If you try and short circuit the foundation, or you're being unreliable in yourself, boy, not much is going to happen outwardly. So if Neptune's there, you have temptations to fight to keep your integrity clear, and you're going to have to work against what's unreliable to be at least be consistent, reliable, and sincere if you expect to accomplish anything. But if you decide, I'm not, why bother accomplishing anything? I'll just drift. You do that, and you have an accomplished life. Sometimes all of these factors, there's ways that they can turn into your spiritual understanding where you bloom inside in the middle of whatever chaos is out there. But Neptune implies confusion, some puzzle to get out of, some standard that's not there, some doubt in yourself, some question of faith or self-belief, some projection or expectation that isn't exactly real. So as the Neptune affects the IC will pick up that Neptune and empower that influence and interpret it according to the sign it's in and how it's disturbing or confusing or tempting that sign that it's in. So if it's a conjunction and Neptune's right low in the chart, there's a lot of confusion around when you were born or where you were born or what was going on when you were born. Not a conception, when you were born, between your parents in your life. If it's square, that still could be there, but it starts to be, might be about their relationship more. When it's in the midheaven, it's like, your parents may not have fit in anywhere. They may not have been working, or how will you ever live up to those expectations? So you can see the Neptune's coming. It's just, you can't define exactly. I'm just working it so I keep reminding what the LG is doing and how it's functioning, how it functions in a way. It's static in itself. It's a point that's influenced, but from that point, you rise out. You put things out. From that point, you take things in. So it's that primal centering point. And each of these influences there's always an influence there. So by transits, by other things can trigger those off. And you can have any planet affecting your IC at different times. But when you have it in your natal chart, it's part of your character that's you're normal. When you have Pluto there, there's confrontations, there's struggles, there's battles. Now, each of these things, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, can be turned for profound insight, but it's not going to come easily. With Pluto conjuncting square opposing your IC, there's fear about motivations. There's confrontation about why you're here. I can't possibly live up to this. Do I dare? Your integrity is being challenged forcibly by strong factors, by fearful factors. In the face of fear, do you still hold on to your integrity? If you witness a gang killing somebody or raping someone, do you turn them in, or do you just say it's not my business? Wow, that's outside things, but these are inner things. That there's been an inner thing. There was some scandal in the family, some abuse or something. With any of the other planets, it's nothing Pluto hitting them. There could easily be some type of abuse or lost to the family. Now your soul's coming in and it attracts this. Not anyone's blame, but it'll be a factor that's there. So if Pluto's hitting your MC, if someone's going to live with you, they're going to run into that factor. They're going to probably represent it.